Hello, I'm Henry Tomlinson from Green Street Hammers. I'm going to be helping Hammers Polls preview the West Ham United Sheffield United match at London Stadium. It's going to be a tough game for West Ham. I think Sheffield, despite where they are in the league, I think they're a very tough team still. Chris Wilder has them so well drilled, and each player in the side knows their job very, very well. And obviously David Moyes is going to have to be wary of this. We did beat them earlier in the season thanks to that Sebastian Haller strike. But Sheffield had chances of their own in that game. They hit the crossbar. So despite beating them and being so far above them in the league, it's still going to be a challenging match, which I think David Moyes even said himself, he knows that they will pose a challenge. So we're going to have to be careful and prepared for that. They're going to be fighting for their lives. They've done well in recent weeks. They've beat West Brom and Manchester United at Old Trafford, a task West Ham weren't able to do in the Cup. So they've still got quality and they've still got a lot of grit and determination to give themselves a bit more credit from the season and not just go out and get relegated without a whimper. So it's tricky because we've been in a bit of mixed form recently. We started the year off incredibly well, winning 7 from 7 games, I think 6 from 6 games, and then failed against Liverpool, and then obviously beating Aston Villa to get back on track. And then I think a bit of fatigue has started to catch up with the players, and this is what's affected our performances in the last couple of games. So you saw a very sort of flat draw against Fulham. I think the defence was still very solid in that game, and we did well to come out with a point. And then against United, it was just a very flat performance. Again, solid defensively, but very little going forward, and that's what needs to change against Sheffield United. We need to improve that area of the game. And hopefully we will, with Jesse Lingard coming back into the side. Obviously he didn't play against United because he's cup tied and his parent club. So I think he'll add a lot of energy into the front four. However, David Moyes likes to play it against Sheffield United. But I think he'll add a lot. And obviously the main one is Mikel Antonio's fitness. He missed a game against United in the Cup, but felt his hamstring against Fulham over a week ago. Between the games. So hopefully the rest has done him a lot of good and he'll be as close to 100% as he can be, because I think once Antonio is at 100%, that is the best thing for West Ham, and I think we play our best football when Antonio is 100% fit. So if Antonio is fit, I do think it will be a positive result for West Ham, as he just sort of links our whole attack together, because that's the system David Moyes has built. He's built it around Antonio. It's a shame we don't have a backup striker, especially with Yarmolenko going down injured and probably likely to miss the rest of the season. So as long as Antonio can stay fit and he does his job before he needs to come off at some point, then that's going to be good for West Ham, of course. But in terms of the game on Monday, Sheffield United are going to be going for it, as I've said, and they still have some good players that can cause a lot of problems. McGoldrick, he started to grab a couple goals here and now. Oliver Burke seemed to have come back out of nowhere. I remember when he joined West Brom and for a lot of money, I think it was about 15 million, then disappeared again. Now he's come back, scored a couple goals against Manchester United. So with his pace, he's going to be dangerous for Sheffield United, and it's something the defence is going to have to be really careful with. But we've proved we can be defensive very well, and we can shut out teams. We shut United out until they needed extra time to get a goal past us. So you'd hope that we can keep a clean sheet against Sheffield United. And I think even though we've picked up a few injuries, such as Yarmolenko and Ogbonna, David Moyes can still name a very strong West Ham side. So I think he'll go with Fabianski and goal, obviously. Kufau right back, Dawson, Diop, Cresswell as the back four. I think Rice and Souček will start in their central midfield roles, which isn't surprising. And I think with the rest Bowen got against United, even though he played the first half but then came off, he should be ready to play another 90 minutes, or 70 minutes with Moyes taking him off at his usual 70-minute mark. He'll take up his spot on the right midfield spot, and I think Lingard will take up the left wing, or Benrahma, and they'll interchange. And then Antonio will be back at the striker role as long as he is declared fit. And I think it's a team that is as close to our first team as possible with the omission of Ogbonna. So you'd hope that our first team can beat bottom of the league, even though they are a very good side still. I think it will be a 2-0 West Ham win. I like to think Antonio can get himself back in the goals, as he hasn't scored for a few games now. And if he can get himself back in the goals, hopefully it sort of gives him a mental lift that will help his recovery physically as well. And we can hopefully see a bit of a flash of form from Antonio again going into the rest of the season. I think the other goal I hope will be Jarrod Bowen. I think he's desperate for a goal. He's only got 1 goal in his last 10 Premier League games and 1 assist as well. So he's due a goal, and he puts a lot of work in, more than anyone, getting up and down that right flank. And he just needs to help his sort of decision making at times. If he can get that down, he'll be back to his best, and the player that we were all very excited about when he joined from Hull and what he's shown he can do towards the end of last season and the start of this season. So if Bowen and Antonio get themselves goals, that can really help push West Ham on for the rest of the season. Obviously, a win for West Ham can take them above Liverpool and up to maybe 4th, maybe 5th, depending on the Chelsea results. So there's a lot to play for both sides. I think West Ham, the win, if they do win, it can give them a lot going forward for the rest of the season, give themselves a sort of mental boost going forward, because I think the team has been a bit fatigued recently and has maybe taken a couple of games for granted. But hopefully we can sort of get back on track and carry on this successful season we've been having. That's all from me. As I said, I think it's going to be a West Ham win. I'm sure we'll hear about Sheffield United shortly. But that's it for now. Come on, you Irons.
Alright guys, Travelling Blade here. Given the Sheffield United perspective, Sheffield United that is, not just Sheffield, but I know West Ham fans they're pretty decent at respecting our name. It's usually top 6 idiots that just call us Sheffield. Given the Sheffield United perspective on the upcoming game against West Ham away at the London Stadium. Now, most of the season, it's been a bit depressing. Obviously, we've been playing awfully, but I think one of the reasons it's been depressing for a lot of fans, a lot of real fans at least, which I know West Ham have a lot of, is that we can't go to games, we can't go to home games, can't go to away games. However, with West Ham away, I'm not that sad that I can't be there. I'm sorry, it's a brilliant stadium for athletics, but as an away end, I'm pretty sure West Ham fans aren't too fond of it either. Away end, you're so far from the pitch, you may as well be sat in Stamford Bridge. It's you're so far back, 2 tiers of miles apart, you can't get chants going, and you can barely see what's going on. So I'm not too disappointed to not be in the ground for this game, which is a rare occasion this season. My hope for this game, I've got not much hope. I spoke to some West Ham fans the other day. I think I went with a 2-1 win for West Ham as my prediction. We're really struggling in terms of creativity. The only games where we've really come out and sort of had some creative flair and controlled the game have been our FA Cup games against lower league opposition. Premier League teams, they snuff us out too easily. As long as a team gets in our face, we panic. And we really, even if we get around the box, we don't know what to do with the ball. We really don't know what to do with the ball. The creative flair is gone. Defensively, we've got a little bit better since the first half of the season, which is not hard. But we still do seem to be a bit all at sea, especially with set pieces. Any corners or free kicks, they may as well give the opposition a penalty. So, if West Ham have got some decent boys in the air, I suppose he hasn't got the aerial prowess as, say, Andy Carroll, but I think people such as Thomas Soucek, he could cause some serious damage at the back. And Mikel Antonio is going to be a nightmare for our defenders. He's quick, he's strong, he's good on the ball, nice footwork, nice finish. I'd be surprised if Antonio didn't score. You got Soucek in the form of his life, arguably. He's definitely going to cause us some problems. I think a midfielder such as if Mark Noble played could cause us some. He could also make it much harder for us, because our midfield has been a mere shadow of what it was last season. Key midfield battles, we're losing. You see some of our players, such as Ollie Norwood, who, well, until the other night, has been pulling out of tackles. Was a bit better the other night against Bristol City, actually threw himself in. But I think if you've got sort of a midfield general like Mark Noble, that could easily make it a difficult night for us. I really don't. I remember. I don't know how much bigger your pitch is than Bramall Lane, but I remember last season when we were actually playing well, it looked like we were running through treacle. It really looked like we were trying to run uphill. It looked slow from us. Obviously, your players will be far more used to that. That's the home ground. Yeah, I'm not selling this fixture. I can't lie. I'm really not selling this fixture. I've not got that much hope for it for us. I can just see it being a fairly routine win for West Ham. Good form. David Moyes doing quite a job at West Ham. Fair play to him. Fair play to him. I've got no animosity against him. Talking of animosity, there's a bit of needle between our clubs. Obviously, Carlos Tevez. That, however, is a bit before my time. I started following Sheffield United. I started going to Sheffield United games in 2010, 2011. I wasn't really aware of the Carlos Tevez incident. The first time I was aware of it was when I got the Carlos Tevez man of the match attacks in the 08-09 season when he was at Man United. I showed my dad, I was like, oh, look at this. I got Tevez, 97 attack. And I was like, oh, you don't want him, man. He flipping got us relegated. So, for me, when I ever see West Ham come up, a lot of Blades fans, you're one below Wednesday in terms of who they hate. But for me, I don't really have any much animosity against West Ham. There was a bit of banter last season. I remember when you went 1-0 up at your stadium in the 1-1 draw. I was fairly near the West Ham fans in the away end, and there's a bloke with a Carlos Tevez flag flying it around. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake. So then when we equalised, we all like ran over to him, like, giving it big time Charlie to him, just because he was giving it to us when they went 1-0 up. I think you won. You definitely will have won this season. I can barely remember the game we played this season at Bramall Lane. I think it was at a 1-0. I've tried to forget most of this season. I remember the last time obviously there was a game at Bramall Lane last season with the last minute VAR controversy. So we've had some. Well, I suppose that was a bit more exciting, that game. But yeah, this should be a fairly routine 3 points for you. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we have come off the back of the cup win. The cup wins do give us a bit more confidence, do give us a bit more spirit. For instance, we went and beat, I think it was after beating Bristol Rovers, we went to Old Trafford. It might have even been our next game. Went to Old Trafford and beat an in-form Man United, no less. So, our cup wins do give us a bit of a springboard. Whether it will this time, we'll have to see. I know it just sounds pessimistic, but we've got nothing to lose, but we don't really play like we've got nothing to lose. We still look a bit nervy. And I think if you've got players like Souček in the form he's in, Mikel Antonio, ex-Wednesday, of course. Ex-Wednesday players always like to have a bit of fun against us. I think those players could cause us some serious trouble at the back. Hopefully our rear guard will stand strong, keep you out. Maybe we can nick a 1-0 win from somewhere. If we can beat Man U 2-1 at Old Trafford, we surely should be able to try and do something against your boys. No offence, but honestly, I'm saying no offence, but I've got little hope for this game. And if we get a draw, see, the thing is that if we get a draw's no good for us. It's mission impossible at the minute, but if we want to try and achieve that, we have to win like half of the games we've got left. So a draw, we may as well lose. Honestly, 1 point's no good to us at this point. It's 3 points or nothing realistically. Short and long of it, I don't know how much people watching this have seen of Sheffield United this season, but we struggle to create chances, and when we do create a chance, we're struggling to take them. That sums it up. And if you've got a set piece, you may as well have a penalty, because we can't defend them to save our lives. We are hopeless at defending set pieces, and so if you get a couple of them, you should be good for a win. But yeah, my score prediction, I'll stand by what I said the other day. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for West Ham. I've really lost all hope with United this season. Honestly, I have. But yeah, whether it'll be a good game, I can see it being a bit turgid, maybe. Maybe. If your boys can turn the quality on in the final third, it could be a bit more of an exciting affair for neutrals and West Ham fans. Just makes it all the more painful for us. But, I think we might try and slow the game. I don't know what we'll do. I don't even think we know what we'll do. But yeah, that's a Sheffield perspective, guys. Cheers.
For West Ham fans everywhere, this is the ultimate football app for you. Never miss a thing with the latest West Ham news, gossip and social stories as they break. Download the free COY Irons app now from the App Store and Google Play.